Good afternoon and welcome to our session titled Funds in Focus, Aramco and Wa'ed Ventures. The sky is full of funds. According to latest analysis, 18,000 private capital funds worldwide are raising an estimated $3.3 trillion. But what sets Aramco apart? That's what we are going to find out today with our guests. Joining me, two leaders who play a central role in this transformation, Mr. Raed Tawali, Executive Managing Director of Prosperity 7, and Mr. Mohammed Zishan Hassan, CIO of Wa'ed Ventures. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you very
Well,
much. Welcome.
first, let's start with Mr. Raed. Prosperity 7, you manage around $7 billion in capital. How does the fund decide which technologies or sectors are worth backing?
طيب, for Aramco Ventures, actually, Prosperity 7 is the diversified growth fund of Aramco Ventures. Aramco Ventures in total AUM is a $7 billion between two programs. We have our strategic fund, which is more focused on sustainability and different technologies that are more strategic to Saudi Aramco. Prosperity 7 is the other diversified growth fund. Between the two programs, see as we are sector agnostic. So between both programs, we're investing in all the technologies that are related to oil and gas and energy and sustainability, and also into emerging technologies. So as in AI infrastructure, robotics, and even in medical sectors as well.
So for Mr. Zishan, your $500 million fund, and actually you have a clear mandate of connecting the Saudi startups with global. How do you do that?
Okay, great question. So a brief context on that. Again, Wa'ed Ventures is local VC arm of Saudi Aramco. $500 million is much smaller than my colleague. It's not because Aramco loves them more. It's because we are focused on local ecosystem. And related to the size of the ecosystem, I think is quite a good size. In terms of our mandate, so we at Wa'ed, we consider ourselves as enabler of the ecosystem. Right, so when we started back in 2013, we had our own loan program. So it was just limited to the loan, and then we added incubation because that was needed at a specific time. 2013 was initial age of the entrepreneurship and VC ecosystem in Saudi. Moving forward, we had VC in 2014. We added $200 million to invest in VC, to invest in all the company that is being graduated from our incubators. Moving forward, we realized that there is a gap, especially in the late stage and mid stage. So that's why we expanded our fund to $500 million and increased the ticket size to $20 million so that we can invest in late stage and pre-IPO companies. 3 years ago, we announced our first AI fund. Actually, it's region's first AI fund, $100 million allocation for that. Now, if you see our evolution over time, our framework for deployment is very simple. We identify the gaps and invest and try to address it. And that's what we've been doing for the last 8 to 10 years now. And we have seen the result. I mean, if you see the Saudi ecosystem today, they are ranked at 23rd. 3 years ago, it was 83. So it's a 60 step up. So we believe that we are living in this environment where we have high growth in our ecosystem. We are one of the initial and important contributor to the ecosystem.
So, Mr. Raed, a venture fund that is run by private sector has a clear objective, but you are owned by Aramco, which is a government entity. So, how do you balance between profit making and between achieving the vision, which can sometimes actually contradict?
Yeah, I see. Actually, for Saudi Aramco, as you mentioned, maybe VC is more known to be kind of a private sector play. But for Aramco,
high risk also.
And it is, yes. Actually, for the beginning of the venture in Aramco, actually it grew from 2012. It was just $500 million. Aramco established its R&D center at the beginning of the year 2000. And actually, the VC fund was created as to more of a supplementary and inorganic growth for different technologies. So we started with a $500 million or $500 million fund at the time. It enabled us to access into different technologies that complemented our R&Ds, and so a lot of those technologies actually were deployed in Aramco and scaled. Now from there, as you build that platform, you build that access, we expanded from there into creating more funds and we're reaching today at 7 billion. We were able to actually tap into, of course, access different technologies, get that strategic value, and the financial, which allowed us even to expand and continue on that success into investing in different emerging technologies. At that time, it was sort of, okay, it can be exploring different frontiers. But later on, a lot of those actually technologies were actually good options for Aramco, being it from a financial return, which is also strategic, and also actually to complement a lot of Aramco even adjacent businesses as well. And we're seeing a lot of those as well being strategic options for the kingdom as well. So a lot of our portfolio companies actually today, now they're not only working with Aramco, they're working with Aramco, the wider ecosystem of Aramco, government entities like in PIF, a lot actually are working closely with Humane and will be actually an integral part of Humane in the future. Not also limited to that, even with the private sector in Saudi Arabia as well.
Mr. Zishan, what are the challenges of trying to localize startups in Saudi Arabia? Because that's your aim, that's your objective, right?
Yes. So localization is one of our mandate, which is quite recent. Like we started doing it 3-4 years ago. However, we always our core focus is still the Saudi. And when we say focus is Saudi, means whatever we do, it is for the benefit of the ecosystem. And one of the part is of course localization. And we are very selective in our localization mandate. We bring the companies to Saudi only which can add value to the ecosystem. We see the gaps. So companies that are more into infrastructure, enabling
You don't
technology.
find any resistance in doing this?
Well, 4 years ago, yes, not now. So 4 years ago, when we started this mandate, so it was very hard, really. We needed to do some convincing work for the founders to sell Saudi Arabia. Now, actually, it's the other way around. We don't feel like any companies, actually now you're seeing, and you've been seeing this for the last couple of days in FII, like the opportunity is in Saudi. So we can find it very easy for the founders. In fact, this is the first thing we discuss about any company we meet with, especially global companies. Localization is the core for our deployment. And we discussed various criteria that we always discuss. What can we do in Saudi? How we get up? It's not just a sales office. There's certain criteria. It has to be used as a fund, hiring local talent, having R&D. And that is in writing. There is a commitment from the companies. Well, challenges may come from the founder's perspective, which is related to access to talent, for example. And again, I mean, 4 years ago when we started, we were the only one talking about localization. Now we have a whole ecosystem around that. You'll find some private sector companies like Astrolab and others who are helping companies to find them company registration, location, bank account, etc. And we have government entities like MISA. MISA have their own PSAP program where we are exclusive partner to them. So we work together to localize those companies. And the challenges like access to talent or regulatory restrictions or issues and deployment, I mean, this is very much in all the ecosystems. We work together with universities to have access to first-hand talent, especially, I'll give you an example, the quantum computer company, Pascal, that we invested a couple of years ago, we localized them, and we just get them hired through KFPM.
This is a French company?
French company, that's
I
right,
think
Pascal.
it was the Nobel Peace Prize.
That's right, Nobel Peace
No,
Prize
yeah,
winner,
no,
the
no.
founders, yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, so 2 weeks ago, the first quantum computer of the region just landed in Tehran. I'm not saying quantum access is the computer, the machine itself is sitting in Aramco. So these are kind of impact, these are kind of, problem that we have seen, learned over the period and trying to solve them.
Okay. Mr. Wa'ed, also, how do you engage with the international venture ecosystem, Silicon Valley, Asia, and Europe? How do you engage with them, if you engage at all?
Well, we are an international investor. Actually, Aramco Ventures and P7, our investment teams are located in Palo Alto, Silicon Valley, New York. In China, on the other side of the hemisphere, we also have 2 investment teams in Beijing and Shanghai, and even in Europe as well. And all of our investments are actually in international companies. So currently, we have around 170 portfolio companies, then different sectors that we work closely with them. Not only with our portfolio companies, was actually we're our co-investors. So, of course, a lot of our investments, as we play a good role into adding value to our portfolio companies, along with our co-investors. We co-invest with the most known VCs. We can call them the first tier VCs. And we always collaborate with all of them. We're never found ourselves kind of competing with anyone, but more of it's of collaborating. Of course, this was very helpful in managing our portfolio and get our portfolio companies through their milestones, through these challenges, and so on, and also in raising funds as well for them.
So, Mr. Dishan, I'm a founder and I'm seeking funding from Wa'ed. What would you want me to demonstrate to you besides a good idea?
Well, I think it depends on what stage you are, right? If it's just an idea, so we have three different verticals. I mean, if you have a seed stage fund, you can invest up to $500,000. That's where the idea have some value. But besides that, we also want to see the founder's his background as well. Now, if you're sitting in Silicon Valley, it's very easy to say, yes, we have three times founder. Here in this ecosystem, you don't find that. So it's not easy to get that, but again, we see the execution capability, and that comes from the background of the founder. We always do some reference with our founders. The ecosystem is small, really, so we can always get feedback from other founders, other investors. So this is for the early stage. Again, it's much easier if you move forward to mid and late stage, where you can really see some numbers, more quantitative evaluation of the company. You see the performance is good, the traction is good, the technology makes sense. And of course, the market, the most important in both sides. So market is something that we look in common, in either it's a small company, early stage, or the late stage company.
Mr. Wright, the future of Prosperity 7, if I'm going to meet you again after, let's say, in 2030, where would you be? Still 7 billion or maybe more?
It's not about the size of the fund. It's more of the impact. And we're very proud, and since we established Prosperity 7 in 2020, we're proud of our portfolio. A lot of the companies that we invested in, be it in AI, in robotics, beside the financial gains we're getting, they're actually, a lot of them are playing a very important role in a lot of the AI applications or what the consumer see. But behind that, a lot of our portfolio companies are playing a very important part. I need to name a few of them on the Silicon Valley side. For example, Together AI, Grok, it's one of our portfolio companies. And we heard a lot of announcements about Grok, even Leap previously. Also in Silicon Medicine, AJ was sitting here, Beyond Limits, just in the panel before us. It was also one of our portfolio companies. So we're planning to continue on that success. And we're even more expanding regionally into other areas like in India. We're going to expand even further into Europe, into different sectors as well. What allows us to do that is the team that we have. Not only the Saudi team, also our regional teams. A lot of them comes from these VC ecosystems. They're experts in what they do. We have a very great business development team in Bahrain, can support also their companies. And also, what really differentiates us, we are a patient capital. I'm hearing a lot during FII, everybody's talking about patient capital. And a lot of those technologies into deep tech, it really requires the patient capital. We're very lucky that we have Aramco as our single LP, where they actually allow us to do that.
We have 50 seconds, and I want to ask Mr. Zishan to give me one example, one startup from your portfolio, which best symbolizes the Saudi innovation story.
So I would say, I mean, I'll give you two examples.
In 30 seconds.
30 seconds, right. So first of all, we'll talk about the localization, the impact that we're trying to create through bringing those companies like Pascal. I'll just give an example of Pascal, the quantum computing. We invested in Terradrone, a Japanese company, so they're not just helping Aramco in their operations, but also these drones are being used to deliver medicines during Hajj. So these are the impact that we have made by investing in global companies. When it comes to local ecosystem, I think, so 3-4 years ago, they were not AI companies, but again, we were one of the earliest investor in AI. 2017, we invested in a company called Hezen.ai. there is a made in Saudi AI camera that is being deployed across 8 countries, including Silicon Valley. So we are very proud of that. You will not hear that we are exporting AI technologies, especially in the US and Silicon Valley.
Thank you so much. Our time is up. Thank you, Mr. Raitwali from Prosperity 7 and Mr. Mohammed Zishan from Wa'ed. And thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
you.
Thank you.